Thank you so much for coming. My name is Juanita Ingram, and I'm the founder and chairwoman of the Board of Trustees for Dress for Success Greater London. Thank you for being with us this evening, for braving the streets, the mean, possible corona-filled streets of London, and coming on out. Thank you for your hygiene practices tonight. I gave a lot of elbows, a couple of feet, no high fives, and not that many hugs. So thank you for being with us and for coming to celebrate not only the women and the men and the companies that we're here to honor with their unique journeys of success, but also to celebrate the clients that are here tonight to be honored. We have been open now for 5 years, and so we are also celebrating our 5-year anniversary. Yes, yay. We opened our doors on February 10th, 2015, and we have had an amazing journey of ups and downs, as with any business, growing pains that are unavoidable, but so much success reflected in the women that we serve and that we help. I'm a firm believer that a picture can paint 1,000 words, that I cannot. So we have a quick video that we're going to show about the journey of Dress for Success and really give you a picture of what we do as an affiliate. So hold on for 1 second. I'm going to attempt to do this without messing anything up. There we go. I'm very proud of that transition that I did. That was smooth. That was good. Okay. All right.
The Dress for Success Greater London journey started in 2013 and has been marked with many milestones and memorable moments. After months of planning and hard work, we were thrilled to open our doors and serve our first client on February the 10th, 2015. Statistically, we know that empowering a woman not only changes the direction of her life, but it also has a positive impact on her children, as well as the community and the economy in which she lives. Through the generous and ongoing commitment of supporters and the dedication of our operations team, board of directors and volunteers, we have been able to help so many women change the trajectory of their lives. And with a success rate of 80%, we have been fortunate to have a positive impact on numerous women, helping them to be gainfully employed and economically independent. Thank you to all of our supporters for your unwavering commitment to the women that we serve. We look forward to what the future holds.
Thank you. Yeah, and as you can see, in the 5 years that we have been in existence and opened our doors, we've seen thousands of women come through our doors and go on to be successful. I am proud of the staff that we have in our operations team, our volunteers, our corporate supporters. We could not do what we do without you, our board of trustees, everyone that comes together that makes this possible. And as of this year, we have an 80% success rate. And what that means, what that means is, and what that means, each woman that comes to us for an interview, 80% of them are successful in gaining employment. And that's a huge impact. As you saw in the video, when you change a woman's life economically, you not only change the trajectory of her life, but the people that depend on her. And so we're very proud of what we do at Dress for Success. Could not do it, however, without the support of everyone in this room. I'm so glad that we have sort of a smaller event this year. It's very intimate. I feel like I'm in a room full of friends and people that I've already known for quite some time, and new faces that I'm excited to get to know. So thank you again for coming. I wanted to thank our sponsors this year, because we couldn't do this event without them. Tresemme, Adriana Papel, that provided attire for many of us tonight. I'm bottling their dress. Wealth for Women, Arnold Porter, Purpose Productions, and of course Weil, who we're here tonight because of them. And with that, I want to introduce Rob to come up and say a quick welcome on behalf of our hosts this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita, and good evening, everybody. I'm Rob Powell. It's a pleasure for us to host this evening's event. We're actually relieved that tonight has gone ahead. It was touch and go yesterday, but yes, we're all here. Thank you for coming along. Dress for Success, Greater London are one of our key charity partners under our 5-year fundraising strategy, Improving Lives and Raising Aspirations. So our employees are raising money for Dress for Success. We're providing support, pro bono, volunteering. We've recently held 2 career development workshops with the fantastic women that Dress for Success supports. So it's a real pleasure for us to host this evening's event. Thank you very much for coming. Just in terms of housekeeping, bathrooms are just around there, so you can go out that door or this door when the event's finished, and they're kind of just in the middle here. In terms of the coronavirus, we do have a global firm-wide policy on this. So, and one of those things, one of the kind of criteria is no handshaking. But actually, I've shaken loads of people's hands this evening already. So, if you're going to shake hands, keep it discreet. Just do it kind of like, but of course, you know, there's plenty of sanitizer and wash your hands, sing the national anthem, happy birthday, all of that jazz. So, but on a serious note, thank you very much for coming. I'm now going to hand over to Monica. So I'm just reading the script here. Monica. Oh, hi there. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Monica Power, and I have the pleasure of being a trustee and Vice Chair of Dress for Success, Greater London. Welcome to the 4th Power of Women Awards. It is my utmost pleasure tonight to be able to introduce our keynote speaker, Melissa Odebash. Thank you very much for coming along. So I wanted to tell you a little bit. I'm sure you all know about Melissa, but I'm going to tell you a little bit anyway. So I'm sure you'll all be familiar with her brand, which was launched in 1999, a collection which swiftly came to epitomise the glamour and sophistication of a luxury lifestyle brand, and which British Vogue was quick to name as the Ferraris of the bikini world. She has been credited with reintroducing high fashion into the swimwear world with complementary ranges including everything from beachwear, hats, ready-to-wear and kidswear. Having been established for close to 20 years, her insightful know-how and discerning use of superior fabrics demonstrates the skill and time that it has taken to really become a master in her industry. Her collections are distributed in over 50 countries and 500 luxury retail outlets, including 2 stores in our very own Notting Hill and Chelsea. With her continuing global success, Melissa has been honoured with many accolades, including Designer of the Year in Paris, and the Founders Award for her pioneering work developing the first designer mastectomy swimwear line for breast cancer charity Future Dreams. As well as many philanthropic ventures, Melissa has also contributed to educational establishments such as speaking at the Harvard Alumni in New York and Condé Nast College in London. Throughout her work as a designer, Melissa has collaborated with many of her peers, from designing a collection alongside Gwyneth Paltrow for her lifestyle website Goop, to reimagining the iconic swimwear for the biopic Diana. Still very humbled by the attention her collection receives, Melissa is always honoured for the support from many A-listers such as Cindy Crawford, Gwyneth Paltrow, Elle Macpherson, Eva Longoria, and many more. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in putting your hands together and welcoming Melissa to the stage. Thank you.
But tell us a little bit about your background. Obviously, we hear the American accent, but where are you from? We know you were here in the UK for a while. What brought you here? Where are you currently based?
Okay, I live in London, but I was born in New Jersey. And when I was 18, I was swimming in my neighbor's backyard, and she happened to have a friend over who was scouting models to bring to Paris. And I was this skinny little scrawny thing swimming in the backyard, and she's like, "Who's that girl?" And she happened to be in New York scouting girls, and she came out to visit my neighbor from New York just for a weekend, and I asked if I could swim in her pool. And she was like, "Who's that skinny girl out in the backyard?" She said, "Oh, that's Missy," which they used to call me when I was younger. She said, "Tell her to come in the house." I jump out of the pool and I go over and she's like, "What'd you think?" I mean, I'm from New Jersey, it's like saying I'm from Essex, I don't know. I don't know the equivalent to New Jersey. She's like, "Would you like to go to Paris and be a model?" And I was like, "Oh, just 1 minute, let me cross the yard and ask my mother if I can move to Europe." And I did. And then I moved to Paris when I was 19.
Wow, when you were 19,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Especially from New Jersey, but
yes,
young.
yes it is, yes. How did you get your start into designing?
So then I lived in Paris and then I went to Milan, I was modeling in Milan, and then, of course, it's all, down to a guy, met another Italian boyfriend. Moved to Rome and I was modeling a lot of swimwear because I was really American into sports and active. And this girl asked me once to model some of her, she just started out, it was horrible. It was like high cut, she was a reality star in LA with an Italian boyfriend anyway. I decided, I was like, oh, none of this is wearable, like the average woman can't wear this, so I just started going around and asking, how do you buy fabrics, how do you do everything? I mean, in Italian, I had to learn the language. And I designed my first, I decided to do 10 pieces, found this old lady 2 hours outside of Rome, and she made my first collection. And about 2 years later, I met this lovely American girl living in Rome, and she lost her job, she was working at Procter & Gamble. Moved back to America and said, let me take your sample line and see if it would work in America. And I said, absolutely, it's not going to work. The Italian cut, Americans love the nappy bottoms. It's just not. It's the whole thing is so not American. And she got me into Sports Illustrated that year. And Sports Illustrated, if you don't know, is once a year they do a swimwear issue on all huge celebrities. And my first shoot was Tara Banks, Heidi Klum, Steffi Graf, the tennis player, all the big supermodels back then. And then once I got into that, then I got into the department stores. But I still was going door to door. It wasn't that glamorous. It was still hard work.
Did you ever doubt your decision or question whether or not you could making that transition?
Nope.
No.
Not even a second.
Wow.
Nope. I think it was, I love doing talks for women and trying to inspire them. I mean, I started before kids, before a family, so I didn't have any responsibilities. So I was kind of whatever, I'm living in Rome with Italians making me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't really care, I'm just going to do, I had nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. And I think it's much harder, and I think women are so insecure about, should I do it, should I do it? Is it going to work, is it not going to work? And I remember coming home, and I've always been like this. Mm-hmm. I came home one day, I was to my parents, and I was I'm going to be a swimwear designer. Oh, here she goes again. Another thing she's going to do, and I just stuck to it.
Wow. And because we deal a lot with women that are making the transition back into the workplace or changing jobs, changing direction in the midst of transition. What advice would you, and you sort of hinted on this, that you give a lot of inspirational talks because you do find women at different stages in life.
Well, I started with 300 pounds. It's not like I had money. There was no social media there. I couldn't afford, I was walking from shop to shop with my little bag and saying, and we don't as women, we don't like to be just, put down or someone. So I wouldn't tell him that I designed a collection. I said, oh, I'm a model and I was sent to show you this collection. And I would just strip. I didn't care. I was butt naked in these little Italian shops and I was let me show you the fits. And then there's only one man in this room, or a few. I would put the swimsuits on and of course they were my samples. They were fit to me, so most of them bought it. The Italians never paid, but I didn't care. I was just so excited that they wanted my product. Because they had to send grandma to vacation, they had to pay their own bills first, so I was barely ever being paid, but slowly.
But the marketing strategy obviously worked.
Well, you have to be, I think with anything, I couldn't afford anything, so the minute I sold 6 swimsuits, I'd buy 6 more meters of fabric and then put it into the business. And it's never easy. There's always a problem. I thought, I was always trying to think out of the box and something different. And I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was the Wonder Bra, which for you men that don't know what the Wonder Bra was, it was like giving yourselves fake big boobs in a bra. So I kept thinking, one of my marketing strategies is you can't have boobs all day and then get to the beach and have no boobs. Like, that's not gonna work. Like even if you're on a date and like he sees you looking booby and all of a sudden you get a bikini and they're gone. A bikini, a Wonder Bra bikini. But see, it sounds great, doesn't it? But I didn't know that the pads don't retain water. This was like 20 years ago, and they were squirting water out of the beach, out of the ocean. And I was like, oh no, this isn't good. So then I had to put a disclaimer: don't go in the water. Just walk the beach, great boobs, but don't go in the water. So you make mistakes as you go along. Everything in any business, you learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely. And this year, the theme, I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm picturing water squirting out.
I know. Like other things happen, like just to help women with business, like you 90% of your day is not creativity, it's solving problems. Whether it's FedEx went to Nigeria with your box instead of New York, because it starts with NN. Like the amount of problems I have had, or your boxes get stolen, or the fabric's faulty, blame is always going to come back to you no matter if it's not your fault. So it's very difficult. And about 5 years into my business, and I was like scraping pennies to get it all together, Victoria's Secret came to me and they said, oh, we like 2 of your designs. Can we buy them? With your name, Melissa Brush from Victoria's Secret. I was like, yeah, of course. And I was a mama and papa sewing my swimsuits. I had 3 people. And they started placing huge reorders, and something I wasn't used to. So I find a factory, and that's kind of what cash flowed my business.
Wow. And what kept you going? What motivated you, and sort of what inspired you during those tough times when it ended up in Nigeria instead of New York, and the things that you experienced?
Because I was living in Rome, where nothing works. One day I will write a book, because the things that happen in Italy are just insane, except that the food and the men are amazing. Nothing else works. Like, there was so much smog, so the license plate, if you end in an odd number, you can't drive on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So I was like, hi, Harvey Nichols, sorry, I can't deliver your box because my license plate ends in a 3, and I can't go to pick up the shipment because I need a 2 on the license plate. Like, the things, the electricity would blow out. I think from living there, I lived there for 8 years, you just have so much patience that when anything goes wrong, you're like, it's okay, let's have a cappuccino, and the box will eventually arrive somewhere, and we'll get it back. So, very laid back with these things.
Good. Well, our theme for this year is Each for Equal, which focuses on gender equality and pay equity. Have you ever experienced gender inequality in the fashion world? And if so, how did you overcome it?
No, I didn't. I have this whole thing, because when people, like, I'm in a very snobby business, I don't understand it. For me, we're all just like a dentist, or we're all equal, so there's no difference. And I just think that when people are that way to you, or if they're mean or something, it's actually, it's their insecurities, it's not yours, and it's just reflecting something bad about them, so I just kind of feel sorry for them. And sometimes when people, I have this thing, like if someone is not nice to you, or, I remember coming here, I was like, they're like, well, Tom Ford, and this, I was like, what the freak's Tom Ford? I was like, I don't know who he is. I was so like, whatever. But I just think, like, sometimes just kill them with kindness. And then they feel so guilty, like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Like, you are beautiful, after they just said something obnoxious, like, God, you must get compliments all day. And the more beautiful and the more insecure they are. So then you think about someone who doesn't have breast left, or how difficult. And the first thing the doctors say to me is, when they experience breast cancer, they say, will I ever be able to go on a family holiday again? It's the second question they ask. So they came to me a few days after the lunch, and they said, would you do something? I think they didn't think I was going to say a swimmer, but I said, yeah, well, why not a mastectomy swimmer line, so that they can put their gels in, or if you've had only, some can have reconstruction, and it's 5 years, and it's really successful, and happy to, I get back 100%, I don't take anything, and we're trying to build they are going to do a post-surgery center in London. So any women can go and get advice, help, nutrition, doctors, everything.
Fantastic.
Thank
Both
you.
our American accents are not working.
No.
Also, and on top of it, my sister had breast cancer when she was 40. She's fine. She caught it on time, and there's no breast cancer in my family, so it's not something. It was hereditary. So that also inspired me to, give back and help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I know your swimwear is made for everyone, and you obviously are a global citizen. You traveled, you lived all around the world. How has that influenced, and where did you get the inspiration to have such a diverse line, diversity in body size and shape?
Well, I sell about 62 countries now, so you have to think about what the women in Dubai would wear, the Americans, we have like the Hamptons, we don't have like the Saint Tropez where you have lunch on the beach, so it has to be a full outfit because it's like walking, it's like a fashion show. Where America, you go home for lunch usually, you go to the beach, you bring your little, you know how it is, you bring a little brown bag of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to the beach. So you have to think of the Americans, and the Americans are quite conservative. Well, the English are too. But like, because I lived in Italy, then they have tan skin, and they all look perky, and they look great. Then you go to America, and they're like the English, white and pasty, and, like everybody's, it's the most, if there's one thing I'd recommend, never go into the swimwear world. It's a nightmare. The amount of body shapes and women, we're so like, it's very difficult, but somehow I made it work.
Well, that leads me to my next question. I think that we're all dying to know your top 3 pieces of advice on how to look good in swimwear. Help me. That may be my own personal question. I've got some vacation time coming up. Help.
Yeah.
There, take it away.
Well, I think everyone doesn't really know, but I mean, you have to know what your body shape is and what you want to show off. So most English bodies, and I'm not, trust me, don't take this, but are kind of apple shape. Skinny legs and squarey kind of on top. So you want to bring in your waist. Oh, please wait till I get to the Americans. So you want to bring in your waist. So you have to get something with ruching here, so it creates more of a curvy body. I mean, there's like, I could sit here all night giving you all the tricks. Someone like me, I have to apply like 15 coats of self-tanner even just to put on a bikini because I just don't look good. I have so many tricks, but I think it's all about know your body shape, boy shape, pear shape, apple shape. I mean, we have every shape in the world in women. But also, you know what? Life is short. Just embrace whatever body you have, and who cares? I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, I have 2 teenage daughters. Social media, it's giving us so many complexes, and it's so like, oh my God, I don't think, like before, I never looked in the mirror. I was like out the door, didn't even think about it. Now we're so like, well, I want to look like Kim Kardashian, and I want to look like, oh, but she looks like this. And this lovely woman, I read this article, and she was passing away, and she said, I just wanted to give out something to women. And she said, you might not be insecure, and oh my God, I look so horrible, but in 5 years' time, you're going to look back at that picture and say, damn, I looked so good. I had so many less wrinkles. What was I? Why didn't I go out? I should have been like, I look back at pictures a year ago, even 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I look so good. So just embrace what you have, and, of course, you want to look your best, because when you feel good, everything, when women feel good, it shows. So just show off the parts that you like. If it's your cleavage, get a low cut one. If you don't like anything, wear a caftan. Thank God it's all about caftans these days. And I'm like a professional. I know how to walk backwards if the sunlight's hitting the back of my legs. You take the pareo on and you only drop it right before you get into the water. Like, there's so many tricks you can do.
Those are all very helpful. I'm going to use them all. Well, you have been in the fashion world for 20 years. You're celebrating 20 years. And what do you want your legacy to be? I know that's a loaded question.
Well, when I started out, there was no such thing as swimwear. It was something people added on, like, it was like a 1 month thing. Like, people just didn't do swimwear. So I'd like to kind of think that I bought swimwear into the fashion world, like, because it didn't really exist. I mean, designers would do 2 pieces at the end of their show, but you went to Speedo if you wanted swimsuits before, or La Perla, or very few. And then slowly, it's like all the editors they're so snobby. I mean, they were personally all coming to me to get their swimwear, but they were very snobby. And they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And they're like, "Oh, I do swimwear." And then they would just turn because it wasn't interesting then. So I hope I brought a whole new business to fashion. Yes. And most important is giving back. Having the one day I am working on it to do something. I mean, I grew up with the Odabash charity, my family did. So I'd like to do something, whether I plant a tree or, of course I'm always going to do mastectomies. For as long as I have a career, I will always give back in that sense. But I'd like to do something, I'd like to be known for my swimwear, but also do something for giving back. I mean, my idol is the guy that started Tom's Shoes, because that is my mission. So if there is a mission, that is my mission.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us. You're such an inspiration. Thank you for sharing insights. I'm going to walk backwards.
Walk backwards. If you're with the guy and there's sunlight hitting the back of those legs, you walk backwards. You just think like you're talking to someone, or
I'm going to do that and only drop the cover immediately, and then jump in.
You laugh and you bend down, you pick it up right when you're getting out and tie that thing right around that stomach.
I appreciate that on levels that you cannot imagine. Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
I've taken some great notes here, Melissa. So a couple highlights that I kept with me. Wonder bra suit, good. Wonder bra suit in water, not good. Right? There are so many tricks to looking good, and every one of them cultural, which is fantastic. I did not know this, so thank you. You said you love Toms. I love your gift to women post-mastectomy. I think that's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing gift to women that have had to deal with that. As a son of a mother who had to deal with it, I know. So thank you. A little about me. I'm also an American. I'll stay away from politics. I have never been asked to model in Paris. I am engaged to a woman in the back, so I don't know what you're talking about with Italian men, but I have a little Italian woman in the back. So I have been and had the pleasure of being a board of trustee with Dress for Success for 4.5 years, and I'm really excited to be here. I know it's a smaller room. I know a lot of you came despite the warnings of the CDC, or what is it in this country? Anybody who tells you not to come. I know we're all not shaking hands. I know we're not giving kisses, but thank you. This is an important cause. This is an important event where we recognize some amazing women. I am pleased to celebrate the power of women who lead us and inspire us every day. It is no coincidence that Dress for Success, the Power of Women Awards, coincides with International Women's Day. This organization tries to emulate the very women we are here to recognize when we serve the women of Greater London. Without further ado, and I'm reading this, so I'm trying not to do it, but it's a lot of work went into it, but I'm reading it. Without further ado, let's move to the heart of the International Women's Day event and the celebration of the women who inspired us and made significant contributions to the empowerment of women, not only in Greater London, but across the world in their respective fields. And I was looking for our first recipient because I know her. I met her at this event 3 years ago, and I didn't see her.
She has a representative here.
She has a representative here?
She does.
Okay. Then I will have to make note of that next time I see her. So, our first award is for the power of women in fashion sustainability, goes to Joanna Dye, the founder and CEO of women's wear brand Dye. Thank you. And I'm going to read you a little bit about each of these women. So if your name is called, just hold for a second so we can honor you, and then we'll come up and give you your award. Dye is a tailored performance wear for modern women, which combines eco-certified technical fabrics, elegant tailoring, and minimal functional design. The brand is committed to sustainability, social impact, and the empowerment of women through fashion. Since launching in 2017, Dye has been on a tremendous growth trajectory and been a pioneer in sustainable material innovation and tech-enabled fit optimization. Joanna is a U.S. expat based in London, has previously served as an investment banker in New York and London. She graduated from Cornell with a BS in electrical and computer engineering and hails from Southern California, which would explain her passion and her obsession for comfort and ease. I'm sure you can relate to that, Melissa. Congratulations, Joanna, for the Power of Women Award for Fashion Sustainability. So who is representing Joanna? Hi. So tell us your name.
My name is Steph. I'm head of customer experience and styling at Dye. Joanna couldn't be with us this evening because she's actually on a panel for International Women's Day at our store in Spitalfields. But she's very humble and very grateful from herself and the whole team to work with Dress for Success Greater London and also to have this award this evening.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. No handshake. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, you should probably get.
I brought the phone for
Okay, so our next honored guest is recognized for Power of Women in Empowerment, Yetunde Hoffman. And Yetunde, if I had a debate about how to pronounce your name in the beginning, and I hope that I did well there. So thank you. Yetunde is a non-executive director and chair of the People, Culture, Remuneration Committee at the Chartered Institute of Personal Development, or CIPD. She is also a board trustee and chair of the Remuneration Committee of the Education Development Trust, a global organization whose purpose is to transform lives through education. She is currently a visiting fellow at the John Majeski Center for Reputation at the University of Reading's Henley Business School. In her free time, she is managing director of Synchrony Development Consulting, an international leadership and change consultancy that partners with leaders and organizations to facilitate strategy, change, culture, diversity, and inclusion. Yetunde started out her career at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Nigeria and went on to build a successful career in a variety of HR leadership roles in the FTSE 100 global companies, including Imperial Brands, Unilever, Allied Domecq, Northern Foods. She established the Enjoyable Life Series, a community interest company designed to help people at all levels in business, education, community identify practical ways in which they can live more joyfully, thereby supporting the support and well-being diversity. Been named as one of the women to watch in the Cranfield University FTSE Board Report 100 Women to Watch list, and is keen to broaden her portfolio of PLC non-executive board positions. A classically trained pianist, she enjoys musical theater, travel, museums. Her book, Beyond Engagement, The Value of Love-Based Leadership in Organizations, will be published in 2020. Please congratulate Yetunde Hoffman for the award of Power of Women in Empowerment.
Shake hands.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much.
You want to say something?
It really is an honor to be here today. In 2015, I was in the city event with the HR Guild of Professionals, and I heard a most inspirational speech from a lady called Monica Brown, and she was the chief executive of Dress for Success. And I had just stepped out of my organization without anything to go to. And I was so inspired, and I thought, what can I do to support how women can get ahead on in society and community? And then I met Fionnuala, and we laughed for so long at Waterloo. Remember that? And through the Enjoyable Life series, which is our way of enabling people like you and me, who I believe we all are leaders, whether you run a nation or you sleep on the streets, helping people like you and me to live our lives with more empowerment. We've been raising money for Dress for Success and also for a homeless charity. And it really is an honor to do that. And I want to thank you for this award.
Thank you. All right. Our next award is for Power of Women in Technology. This award goes to the esteemed Caroline Bedford. Caroline is the head of DXC Digital Minds. DXC Digital Minds is an innovation, talent development, and collaboration program that, via a series of monthly workshop, training, and sessions, briefings, and events, builds a diverse community of people who have ambition to drive technical and cultural change and gives them knowledge, network, and influence to do so. Caroline started her career in insurance technology in 1990, has worked across the globe leading and championing technical and cultural change, a passion for the London insurance market, which is not something you hear every day, and a desire to help, I'm just kidding, sorry, Caroline, and a desire, and a desire to help ensure its longevity lead her to create the DXC Digital Minds program with John Taylor in 2016. This gave a platform to those not already on the radar. Through her work with hundreds of delegates and incredible STEMettes organization, Caroline continues to model positivity, tenacity, and generosity with the value of being a perpetual learner. Please join me in congratulating Caroline Bedford for Power of Women in Technology.
People love the London insurance market. Hold on. There you go. Thank you so much. Thank you, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I wanted to say a few words, and I was pondering what I should say to recognise such an honour, and I realised that I actually put a LinkedIn post up to share the fact that I had been nominated for this award. And what I put actually was from my heart, so I would like to read that to you, if that's okay. I'm so happy to be receiving the Power of Women in Technology Award this evening, and the recognition means the world to me, and it really does. As you so elegantly said, I've been in technology for almost 30 years, but I've been so fortunate throughout my career to have support from friends, family, mentors, and more. However, I'm acutely aware how lucky I am to have that, and that not everybody has access to support, nor the resources or the ability to acquire it. And I just can't imagine what it would feel like to be talented and ambitious, but unable to afford to prep for an interview or have the right equipment or the means to get there or the childcare that you need to be able to reach your full potential. One of my favourite change sayings, in particular with Digital Minds, and this is one of the reasons that we started the programme so many years ago, is that if you want to change who's in the audience, you have to change first who is on the stage. And I really feel that the Dress for Success charity is making huge inroads into doing that, and I'm really proud of what you've achieved. The support given to women around London and all over the world and the results that you achieve are incredible. I am so fortunate to work with so many incredible women. Give me a wave back there. There they all are. And they all believe strongly. And at the front there, they all believe strongly in what you're doing. I'd just like to thank you all for being so incredible. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you, Catherine Bryant, and all of you here today for inspiring this incredible cause. Thank you. Thank you.
The next Power of Women Award is for Power of Women in Medicine and Courage, and that recipient is Annie Price. Annie Price is a television presenter, personal trainer, and speaker who suffered third-degree burns to her face and hands as a baby. She began her television career in 2016, telling the story of her childhood in the film Annie of the Ashes for BBC Three. Following on from this, with her characteristic warmth and humor, Annie went on to make Plastic Surgery Capital of the World and Tiredness, Tears, and Tantrums, Diary of a New Mum, both for BBC Three. Annie continues to make documentaries and speak regularly, sharing her views and life lessons so far. She was named on the 2018 BAFTA Breakthrough Brits along with 19 other talented newcomers across film, games, and television. 2019 saw Annie make new documentary Inside the Cage, The Rise of Female Fighters for BBC Three. Please welcome Annie Price.
Oh, sorry.
We can bump.
Oh, we're not allowed to? Of course, sorry. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this. I'll be really quick, but I do want to say a couple of words just because it really means a lot to me, things like this. I was lucky enough to do a talk with Dress for Success last year and speak with the women through one of my best friends, Vanessa. And I learned a lot about the charity and the things that you do, empowering women to get back to work at any level. And it's particularly close to my heart because looking at me, I think a lot of people presume that my biggest mountains are how I look and that I don't look normal and I want to be pretty and all these kinds of things. But for me, it was work, you know. I really, really struggled to get a job growing up, and it really made me feel isolated and frustrated and alone. You know, if you can't take care of yourself, what else can't you do? You know, can I have a relationship? Can I do the job that I really want? Can I start a business? And it just made me feel overwhelmed. And I thought, you know, where's my place in this world? So to be, you know, recognised by you guys, to know that work is such a necessity for all of us, it really means so much to me. And I think we can all agree, all the people in this room, that we know that courage is a lovely thing to be said, but it doesn't feel like courage, does it? Do you know what I mean? It feels like fear, it feels like overwhelmed emotions, and you just feel out of your depth. And the only way I got out of that was through other people. You know, we never know who we're mentoring. I was able to look up to so many people, and this is why I love events like this, because we're all coming together and we're getting to share our ideas. And for me personally, it really lifted me up, so thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tyler. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce our next honoree, Power of Women in Law, Sharron Varner. Sharron is Vice President and General Counsel for Cummins, Inc., where she is responsible for worldwide legal matters and oversees a team of lawyers, paralegals, and other professionals. With more than 30 years of experience in the legal profession, Sharron primarily specializes in intellectual property law. Prior to joining Cummins, she served as Deputy Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property and Deputy Director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office. During the years that she spent in that role, Sharron led 15 foreign missions to meet with government representatives as well as leaders in academia and the industry to raise awareness about the impact of intellectual property on business and innovation. Sharron was a recipient of the 2018 Diversity Tech Award from the Intellectual Property section of the National Bar Association, 2016 Ivj Women of Influence. Ivj's Women of Influence program is in its 10th year, recognizing women who have risen to the highest levels of business, the arts, and public service. In 2013, she won the Inns of Court Professionalism Award for the 7th Circuit, and in 2011, she was the recipient of Women's of Vision Award from the Women's Bar Association in Illinois. She was named one of the 50 most influential minority lawyers in America by the National Law Journal in 2008, and an Illinois super lawyer by Law and Politics Media in 2005 to 2011 for her intellectual property litigation work. She is a graduate of Syracuse University, where she earned a bachelor's degree in psychology and went on to receive a law degree from the University of Michigan Law School. Please welcome Sharron Varner.
Thank you. My honor to be here this evening. I feel very blessed to have been raised in a house where the power of women was a daily theme. See, I was raised with a mother and 5 sisters and my father. So for us, women ruled, right? My mother was adamant in teaching us to be strong, courageous, caring, and competent. And for the last, I won't tell you how many years, I've been honored to live that every day. I'm also honored to be at a company in which powering women is our daily theme. We committed several years ago to spend $10 million with Girls Inc., powering women to do great things. So I feel like my life's mission has been to give back that confidence and caring to women for a career. In my legal function of over 80 lawyers, over 60% of them are women across the globe. And I feel every day that I am protecting the company more and more by the best lawyers in the world. So thank you so much for honoring me and for allowing me to be here with you this evening. Thank you.